I've got another lesson this week on the artist, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Hagiwara Hideo. I'm not sure if the pronunciation is right. It's really difficult for me to find the proper pronunciation. Japanese artist, his abstract prints. The exhibition at Mia is abstract prints, but they are all woodblock prints. And there isn't a specific date with each piece in this exhibition. There's just a time period that they were created between 1981 and 1986. And this exhibition is in galleries 226, 227, and 237. Now, this lesson is different than the Fauvism lesson because I've included a hands-on art making exercise. And it's just to give you a starting point or an inspiration or a place to start thinking about if you'd like to make your own art along these lines. But first of all, I just want to say a few things about Hagiwara. So some of you have actually seen this exhibition. If maybe this will prompt your memory. All of these woodblock prints are of Mount Fuji in Japan. And Mount Fuji was considered Japan's holy mountain. And what Hagiwara did was he really focused on looking at Mount Fuji from different perspectives. He spent a lot of time looking at Mount Fuji, different seasons from different places. And so all of these 36 prints are all different views of Mount Fuji. He's known for his lively use of color. And so you'll see that I've used lively colors in the activity that's following this. I want to make sure that you pause this video before you start the activity to look at some examples of his work, which is in a different video. So I want to make sure you pause this first. All right, for this lesson, it's really important to me that the materials be easily accessible in your home. And I think I can figure that how to make that work. So the first thing we're going to need is we're going to need 3 flaps from a cardboard box. So if you can use a scissors to carefully cut a flap off, or have an adult help you, please do that with 3 flaps. One of the flaps needs to be as long as your paper. So I have chosen here an 8.5 by 11 piece of printer paper, standard paper that you would find in your printer at home if you have a printer at home. And so what I have done is, because this is an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, after I cut this flap off, I measured 11 inches and cut the remaining off so that it was exactly as wide as my paper. So what we're planning on doing is we're going to be making, with these 3 flaps, we're going to be making a primary subject, a foreground, and a background. I just want to reiterate that you need 3 flaps from a cardboard box, the top flaps. Only one of them needs to be the length of your paper. The other 2 can be whatever size you'd like. You also ideally should have 3 different colors of acrylic or tempera paint. And let's see, a scissors or a chopstick a kebab stick. A fork might be fun. All right, I have a scissors here. I found a screwdriver, so that's something that I'm gonna try. Here's my kebab stick and my fork and my chopstick, which you all are familiar with using in the classroom. All right, I'm gonna use this is the piece that is the length that I measured to be the exact length of my paper. This was the 11-inch piece. This is going to be my background. So I am going to, this is basically going to be the sky here. And I'm going to put this aside. And this, I am going to, and you might want to draw it first. This is going to be my mountain. And I think what I'm going to do is I am going to use the kebab stick to just make, it has to be a little deeper. Maybe that'll look like a little bit like a snow cap on the mountain a little bit. Again, play around with this. Just explore and see what you can make. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my third piece and I am going to draw some trees. All right, I have my trees drawn. I'm going to cut these trees out and then I'll get back and then we will resume and then I'll resume the video. Okay, I have my three colors here. I've got pink, a purple, and a green. So I'm gonna start with my background. The last time you saw this didn't have paint on it. So it was just a piece of cardboard and I had made marks in it with a fork. So I'm gonna paint it again. And we have to work fast because we don't want the paint to dry, and acrylic dries fast or tempera dries fast. And I'm going to use the fork again to remake the marks. It doesn't have to be exactly over what you made before. If you want to do it elsewhere, that's absolutely okay. Okay, now you see that I painted this background paper. This is not the paper that I'm making the art on. So I'm going to take now my actual art paper that I'm going to use, and I'm going to line it up with the top of the paper first. Press and rub gently. Press gently. Rub firmly, actually. And then I'm going to pick it up, and I'm not going to repaint. I'm just going to print again, and this will be the bottom half of my art. And then I'm going to lift this up, and there I have my background. Now I'm going to set this aside. I'm also going to set my art paper aside, and then I'm going to paint my mountain. So I'm going to do purple for my mountain. And then I'm going to use the kebab that I used before to try to find the snow caps that I had put in there. And just like I said before, just experiment. I mean, you could do a lot of these with the same cutouts. You could make more patterns and experiment with something else like that. So I'm going to take my paper back, my art paper that I'm actually going to use, and I'm going to decide where I'm going to put my mountain. So I'm going to decide on this one that it's going to go right here. I'm going to press gently and rub firmly. And then pick this up. Okay, again, I'm going to set my original work aside and get my trees. And now I'm going to paint my trees. I'm going to do this the same way. Paint my trees. A little bit of pink still left there on that brush there. That's fine. I'm going to get my original work back, set it down, and then decide where the trees go. I'm going to decide right there. Press gently down, and now rub firmly. Making sure to get all the corners. There. Okay, this is another one that I finished, just like I showed you before. I'm just skipping to a dry one. So you might notice a little different color schemes. But after your print is dry, you can use watercolors to embellish. So I am going to paint the background or the sky, whatever you'd like to call it, whatever it looks like to you. I'm not going to finish this whole one. I'm just showing you how we do this. With the trees, these trees didn't print that well, so I can use my watercolor to make trees if I want. Like that. I'm going to set this aside because I'm going to show you what it looks like when I'm all finished. So here's my finished piece. Fun! Thanks for following along. Send me your art if you make any. Bye.